Everyone, and happy Easter to you all, and thanks so much for supporting my channel. I'm up in West Belfast on the Falls Road at the Bobby Sands mural, Irish revolutionary who died in 1981 after 66 days on hunger strike. Of course, Bobby Sands was a fantastic poet and writer and was a great supporter of Liam Mellows and James Connolly as well. James Connolly himself worked up in Belfast as an organiser for the Irish Transport and General Workers Union in 1908, following the docker strike of 1907, where Jim Larkin was heavily involved in standing up for the dock workers in Belfast who worked in poor conditions, bad pay, and stood together across communities, not sectarian, on the basis of standing up for working class rights. But of course we've seen the divides of sectarianism in Irish society that has benefited the British oppressors for many, many years. And what's really, really important in the context of what's been going on in the 26 counties is we've seen the Irish government constantly hark on about the revolutionaries of 1916, but they've completely and utterly betrayed the revolutionaries of 1916. Many of those revolutionaries who stood up for Irish independence and Irish sovereignty, and that's vitally important now more than ever, and in particular in the context of what's happening up here in the north of Ireland with the far-reaching poverty rates, and of course still being controlled by London in terms of the budget through the Stormont executive. And what's also very important in terms of the last week, a report came out from the Economic and Social Research Institute in Dublin, and this came out to say that GDP earnings the gap in earnings and the health and well-being are widening between the north and south of the country. The disposable incomes are 36% higher in the south of Ireland than in the 6 counties, which just shows you more wealth is getting funneled upward in society, and in particular we see it here in the 6 counties with more wealth getting funneled to those who have versus those that don't. And at the same time, productivity has grown year on year in the 26 counties by 0.2%, but yet up north it's down 1.1% since 2000. Now we've seen poverty rates increase across the country, and in particular in the north as well. We've seen where up to 100,000 children live in poverty, which is about 20 to 25% of the total children of the north of Ireland. And when you consider about the south of Ireland, it's about 15%. And as well, you see more and more people on hospital waiting lists, and also with issues around the life expectancy is the differences are becoming stark as well. And fundamentally, we see more and more younger people that aren't completing a second level education or aren't getting the opportunities that people so richly deserve. Now, of course, we know up in the north, because of the control by the Westminster and Stormont executive, we've seen so much oppression for years and years and years, discrimination, and it's really about standing up across communities, across people, more than ever now, whatever part of this island we live on. And it's very important to remember the great revolutionaries of the past who died as political prisoners, killed as well by the imperialist powers as well, and fundamentally they stand up for the interests of ordinary people now and the working class people, such as what Bobby Sands stood up for, and those 10 men that died on hunger strike in 1981. Absolutely disgraceful with a Thatcherite government, more or less the same policies that has destroyed and decimated the working class across Britain too as well. Fundamentally, ordinary people should be standing together across community divides, and we all know through so many people who stood up for Irish independence and sovereignty, such as Wolfe Tone, the father of republicanism, who was a Protestant. And it's very important to stand across all dividing lines fundamentally, rather than stand up for the interests of those who represent the big billionaires, the big business interests and the corporations as well. So a lot of issues are happening with poverty, homelessness are quite similar to what's happening. So we need United Ireland for the people and by the people from the ground up, that serves the interests of ordinary people, where the people are sovereign, much the same that many of those in the past fought for, such as Patrick Pearse, And remember, most of all, come the leaders of the revolution and the signatories of the proclamation as well, and many of those who stood up for Irish freedom, Irish independence and Irish sovereignty. So from Belfast today, thanks so much for all the support with my videos, really appreciate them. Please press subscribe as well, and we need to stand united as one across the island with the same issues that represent the interests of the ruling classes in society that try and divide people, try and turn people against each other, when all the citizens of the nation should be treated equally. And it's vitally important now more than ever that people stand up for what kinds of society and country that we want to all live in together. So that's vitally important now more than ever. So thanks so much for all the support with videos, really appreciate them, and please press like as well and comment also as well. So from Belfast, take care and so on, and happy Easter to one and all.